Welcome to Advocates, the podcast junior segment. Today we have Mahesh Rai with us. Mahesh is the Director of Dispute Resolution at Drew and Napier, Singapore, and he was called to the Singapore Bar in 2011. He was also called to the New York Bar in 2011, and he was admitted as solicitor in England and Wales in 2013. Mahesh has an active litigation and arbitration practice with a particular focus on complex, high-value, and cross-border disputes. Welcome, Mahesh.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening to you.
We're so glad to have you here. Mahesh, as you know, the format is 7 minutes. The clock will start running. And Once 7 minutes runs out, we stop the questions. So, Khadija, could you start? Okay, Mahesh, first question, why choose advocacy?
Because for me, there's no profession in the world quite like it. There is never a boring day as an advocate. No two cases are the same. It's very intellectually challenging and keeps life exciting. The clients, they hire you to put their best foot forward in court. You get to be creative and think of new angles to argue the case. And your arguments could actually make new law or develop it. And if expert evidence is involved, you get to study an entire area outside of the law. So someone's paying you to learn something new. And at the hearing itself, there's a thrill and excitement of advocacy. One of my seniors said it quite well previously. He said that you are essentially a modern day gladiator for your client. I think that sums it up. It's the most civilized form of contest or combat that we have.
Okay. Best lesson from someone leading you?
It takes a lifetime to build a reputation and just one mistake to ruin it. You should never compromise on your integrity. That applies not just to the court, but your fellow lawyers at the bar and to the client. Your job as an advocate is to present the case firmly but fairly without compromising your ethics.
Right. And Mahesh, when was the first time you made the witness on the other side uncomfortable?
It wasn't the first time, but certainly one of the earlier instances which was memorable was in an international arbitration where I was cross-examining a factual witness who was an expert in a particular area. As the cross-examination went on, he began to feel quite uncomfortable at the questions where he had to agree to my client's case. And the more uncomfortable he got, the redder he became in the face. And even though he was seated, you could see his legs shifting from side to side more aggressively, and his face was effectively glowing. My senior, my pupil master, was next to me at that time, and after some time, he leaned over and he whispered, "We are both really enjoying this, but this guy is really punctured. Time to put your case and move on."
All right. Okay, Mahesh, 10 years from now, what would you want to do?
10 years from now, I hope to be at the top of my game as an advocate and to probably take on the most complex cases, not only in Singapore, but internationally. And hopefully to be in a position to inspire younger advocates to stay the course, because this profession can be very rewarding.
Okay, and which do you prefer, trials or hearings, and why?
Trials or hearings, they both have their own appeal, but if I had to choose, it would have to be trials. I used to be quite active in theatre, and preparing for trials is somewhat like preparing for theatre.
Oh.
You have months and months of blood, sweat, and tears, and that preparation that goes into making that final act as near perfect as it can get. So you have the pleadings, the discovery, the interrogatories, or the affidavits. They're all geared towards the trial. That's where the main show is. You prepare copious amounts just for that day that you would stand up and argue. And for me, trials are really exhilarating because of how unpredictable sometimes they can be and how dynamic they are. As an advocate, you hope that your cross-examination will essentially be as smooth as a dance with the witness. But we all know that the twists and turns that cross-examination can take and the amount that you have to think on your feet, all of that makes trial work very exciting. And I think those are what we consider to be attractive as advocates.
Okay, and Mahesh, how much do you write to prepare for your cases?
As I get older, I find that the writing becomes less, but it's still there. For hearings, I think I rely quite a bit on memory from the getting up that I do before the hearing itself. For cross-examination, I tend to write around the issues and the points that I want to get as concessions from the witness. And most of the writing is really done to just internalize your notes.
Okay. Now, to the people behind you on the road, your juniors, could you give them 3 pieces of advice?
3 pieces of advice. Number 1, no one owes you a career. You have to look out for yourself, look for the opportunities that are out there to become a better version of yourself and grab them by the horns. Number 2, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Lawyers are very ambitious and they sometimes forget that there is no destination. This is essentially a learning journey. Everyone has their own journey and you have the chance to make your own mark. Pace yourself and try to enjoy the journey. And number 3, try to pay it forward as much as possible. With each new generation, we get the opportunity to improve on the practice of law. If you had good seniors, pass on what you have learned. If you did not have good seniors, you have the opportunity of being that good senior that you never had and not to repeat the same mistakes. And in your free time, pay it forward with society and do pro bono work. It will stand you in good stead in the long run.
Right. So Mahesh, what is the worst thing about being a junior at the bar?
The worst thing about being a junior at the bar is that you are, well, I suppose a senior junior for me at this stage. You are too senior to feel that the buck stops far away from you, and yet you're not senior enough to feel completely relaxed about work coming in purely on account of your name.
Okay. Is there anything that could make you leave practice?
Yes. If I could no longer do advocacy or be an advocate, I would leave practice. I would not practice in any other area of the law. I won't even go in-house.
And so Mahesh, as we have a little bit of time, maybe we just follow up on that. When you say you could not be an advocate, do you mean standing up in court, or is just litigation in general? Are you fine being a solicitor?
Well, we have a fuse profession here. So for me, that means being an advocate means being an advocate, standing up, arguing in court or in international arbitration. Being a solicitor and not arguing, I think I would still leave the profession then.
Okay, thanks, Mahesh. We're right bang on time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.